Good morning everyone, welcome back to another Chart Nerd technical analysis video. Today we will be covering VELO, the ticker is VELO against USDT on the weekly time frame. Before I start, this video is not financial advice and is all for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you like the content, please do give it a thumbs up, a comment, and maybe even a subscribe if I'm lucky. Now diving into VELO, so I've posted a couple of updates on VELO past couple of weeks and I will continue to deliver on those fronts. And I think in the last video, I was pointing out this key level of resistance that VELO recently broke in the month of April, on the 15th of April, and we took out this key resistance point, and we currently have a target of this double bottom or Adam and Eve or ascending triangle, whatever you want to call it. I do believe that eventually from this couple of years of accumulation here in this bottoming structure, I do believe that VELO will eventually get towards its potential target of around 22 to 23 cents, which ironically does tie up with these previous sort of support levels that VELO bounced off back in 2021 but failed to hold in the latter part of the year then. So, you know, once you lose key levels of support, you generally tend to work your way up and trying to get back to where you came from. It's a long drawn out journey, but I think eventually VELO will get there. Now, hear me out. At the moment, so we do have our technical target breakout, that 22 cents we were saying, right? So we'll keep that in mind actually. I'll leave that on there for us. But at the moment, I do think that we've ran into a key level of resistance. So if we zoom in to this actual bottom pattern, and again, I'm going to get this level of support that we had on. So VELO was, again, as I mentioned, you could class this as some sort of ascending triangle when you're caught between a level of resistance and support. And right now you've broken out, or you could call it an Adam and Eve at the same time. A lot of people call it an Adam and Eve because you've got this sort of V-shaped recovery here and this round bottom where you just accumulated. And again, as I said, on the 15th of April of the week, we broke out of this key resistance. So moving forward, I wanted to get back on this Fibonacci. From this low, we was trying to get back to this high, and we've recently broke that. Okay, so on the 15th of April we broke it, but breaking out of this high, we've actually run into the 1272. Now I mentioned this in my last video and I was saying, hey guys, we could see key rejection at this point, and a pullback potentially back down to the 1 fib at 0.015 and this previous resistance looking to turn it into support before continuation of the trend. Now, I think I've seen the likes of Telcoin do something very similar where it had a sort of accumulation range, it broke out, and what it did was pull back in a flag to previous resistance looking to turn it to support, and now it's marching its way on again. So right now, I do think we are looking for a pullback to a minimum of 0.015. And something that's giving that away is one point of confluence is we've ran into the 1272. The second point of confluence is yesterday we had an engulfing bearish candle. So yesterday's close was actually lower than the previous week. And I think that what we might see here is some potential relief up followed by a slow burnout back down to this 0.015, potentially in some sort of flag, coming back to key resistance and turning it into support before continuation of the trend. Now, if we do get that opportunity, it could be very fruitful, and at this point, if we do get the pullback to this area, we could be looking for the continuation. And my next target, if we take the 0.027 range out at the 1272, would be at 0.057. From current price, I believe, I don't think it's a massive move, but you're looking at a near 2x from current prices if you didn't want to risk it and wanted to get yourself involved now instead of being on the sidelines, or if you would rather wait for a better entry point. If we do come back to this 0.015, we could be looking at a near 3x move off of key support. So right now, just a quick update for you guys, but there's more things that are pointing out to a pullback here. As you can see, after these impulsive moves for VELO, it can also come back very correctively. And at this point, there was a low and a higher low put in, which is bullish structure, but this would have scared the hell out of people. So depending on how Bitcoin behaves over the next few months or into Q2 or Q3 of this year, our first key support target here for VELO is the 0.015. Of course, invalidating this support, if we start to come up here and tackle this 1272 and holding this as support moving forward, then this impulsive wave isn't done yet, and the 1618 is where I would look to be taking profit off of this move to be complete. But right now we are showing signs of weakness, and my ideologies are pointing towards this 0.015 area as a key range of support before the continuation of the trend. We have to remember this thing works in waves. Crypto works in waves. We've had this large impulsive, so it wouldn't be surprising to have a corrective move into back to key support. And from this 1272 back down, it would be a 46 to 47% correction. What an entry point, in my opinion. If you're on the sidelines and you haven't got involved, great place to load up the bags. Again, not financial advice. And this is, I think, the potential target that it's coming down to. So currently we are down roughly over the last couple of weeks about 32%. Of which some people would be saying, load up the bag here, guys, don't be stupid, you know, and every little correction, buy these dips. And for some altcoins, it's necessarily true, yes. Coming into this part of the cycle, not financial advice, but it can be very fruitful on just buying dips in the uptrend. If we do retrace any deeper than this 0.015 mark, if we do retrace any deeper, where could we be looking for support? Well, simple as, just like we got the 1272 target, which we're being rejected at right now, if we go, so we got the 1272 from this low, putting a fib onto this high. That's how we got this target. So if we get a fib on from this high now, retracing back to this low of where we came from on the macro scale of things, which was in, where was this? August 2023. So since August 2023 at this low, you can see we've been working very impulsively. So retracing back down towards this low, I'm not saying this has to come into play, but please consider, if we do lose this 15 area of support, you know, start hitting our heads on this, then it could be a likely outcome that we see an even larger correction back down to 0.0069. And you can see that we had a cluster of resistance at this point back in, where was we? This is in January to March, where we coiled up for a couple of months before breaking out. We have theoretically already back tested it with a wick here. You can see that we had a wick back down to this resistance point where we was coiling up, broke out, wick back tested it, and then continued the trend. So we have already back tested this area for support, which is why I'm saying it doesn't have to occur. But if we do see, as I said, the 0.015 area lost, then this could act as the next golden area or entry point to get involved. As mentioned, from these highs, VELO can pull back. That was an 89% correction. I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but just keep it on the cards. This here would be a 75%, and to the 0618 would be an 83%. So it's not something that's impossible, and this coin is growing ridiculously. Its fundamentals are so strong, especially in Asia. You should do your own research, guys. Have a look at VELO. It's an amazing project. But I just want to play every scenario here. So right now, the takeaway is we're looking to hold the 0.015 as support. So this previous high, we want to hold that as support now before continuing. Okay, invalidating that, if we bounce from where we are now and we start to come up and tackle out of this 0.027, then the next target range for me in this impulsive move is 0.057. But I genuinely think right now we're sort of looking for the coil up back to key support that we broke the resistance of before the continuation of the trend. So I hope you enjoyed the content, guys, and it wasn't too much. From Chart Nerd TA, have a great day. Peace out. Take care.